Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at how we can include images on our website. Right now, we just have a pretty bland white background with black text right here. So adding in some images will be really good in telling the users what our website is about and what they can get from here. So how do we include images on our website? Well, first of all, we need to add the image file to our files over here on the left-hand side. And to do that, I'm going to click on these three dots right here and go where it says upload file. And here we can choose pretty much any file to add to our website contents. So I'm going to choose this background image right here, which you can download from the course files tab. Just simply download that zip file, extract it, and the background image is going to be in the corresponding lesson folder. So you can get that right there. So when we open this up, I'm just going to select it, then click on open to add this to our files list. And you can see here, we now have the background.png added to our files. So how do we actually add this image to our website? Well, we're going to be using an image tag, okay? The image tag, simply you set up the tags and then you have an attribute which links to the corresponding image you want to display. Similar to with a link here, as you can see, we have a link attribute or the href attribute, which is linking us to the website or the web page that we want to navigate to. An image tag is going to link to the image file that we want to display. So just underneath where it says, I want to learn to code, or I want to learn coding, I'm going to put in some spaces, and just like before I mentioned, you can have as many new lines as you wish, and the computer won't recognize it, so you can pretty much lay it out however you wish. And inside of here, I'm going to do the img tag like so, okay? So make sure to close that tag as well. And if we run this, nothing happens. And the reason why, of course, is because we are not linking an image to display. So to do this, we need to add the source attribute. And to do this, I'm going to go src for source equals, and then in two quotation marks, we need to link the background.png image. And just like we've done down here with linking the new page link, we are just going to go background.png, okay? Make sure you do add the file extension at the end so it knows what type of file it is, okay? We can click run, and there we go. We have our image displayed on screen right here. Now, something that may be bothering you, or something that you may have in the back of your mind, is the fact that with our image tag right here, unlike all of the other tags we've created so far, the image tag has no contents necessarily, okay? And by contents, I mean the stuff that goes in between the opening and closing tag, okay? We are only giving it a source attribute, which is telling it what image to display on screen. Now, we don't need to type anything in here in between the two tags because we don't want any text corresponding with the image, okay? We just want the image. So in this case, we can do something known as a self-closing tag. And a self-closing tag is where we only have the opening tag here. We do not need the closing tag here. Now that contradicts what I mentioned before, where I said you always need to open and close your tag. And how a self-closing tag works is that we can remove the closing tag here, but instead of having no closing tag, we sort of add that on to the end of the opening tag. So here at the end of the opening tag, I'm just going to do a slash like that, and this is now a self-closing tag. Okay, we can click run, and as you can see, the exact same website appears. Now, self-closing tags, of course, aren't really that good if you want to have paragraphs or any sort of text elements, but if you do have something such as an image where you don't really have any content per se for that tag, you can create a self-closing tag. And these are very useful later on when we start introducing more tags which don't necessarily have any text contents. Okay, you're only really adding in attributes here which don't need to be in between the opening and closing tags. Now, let's look at another example of a self-closing tag which may be useful when creating a HTML website. And that is the line break tag or the break tag. And what this does is basically, let's just say in the middle of our paragraph here, we want to all of a sudden go to a new line, okay? So we want, I want to on the top line and learn to code and learn coding on the bottom line. Now, if we do put a space here or a new line in the HTML code, you can see nothing happens. And of course, that's because HTML does not recognize new lines inside of the text editor, okay? So if we do a new line here, basically when it compiles it and reads the code, everything here is on one single line for it. So what we need to do is add the break tag, and to do that, I can just go opening bracket here, go BR / closing bracket like so. And this right here is going to basically tell the website or tell our computer that at this point here, we want to go onto a new line. And if I click run, you'll see that I want to is on the top line and learned coding is on the second line right here. So there is an example of a self-closing tag, okay? I'm just going to remove that for now. And one more thing about using images is that we don't only have to use images that are stored locally inside of our files, okay? We can actually use and get images from anywhere on the internet. And the way we can do that is by where it says source here, instead of going background.png, we just enter in the URL for that specific image file that we want. So for example, let's go over to google.com here, and you see we have the Google logo. What we can do is just right click and go copy image address. This is just an example. If you were doing this, you do have to make sure that the images you are using are public domain, or that you do have the appropriate licensing and crediting in order to use those images, okay? So let's just say you have an image that you're allowed to use. You can go back here and replace the source link with that new image link that goes to that specific image. You can click run, and there we go. So it can pretty much get and access any sort of image around the internet and display it on your screen like so. Okay, I'm just going to go back to our background.png right here, and that is images. So in the next lesson, we are going to be looking at lists, okay? And lists are very important for if you want dot points or if you just want to list out various different things. So I'll see you all then in the next lesson.